something I want to do at this point. So let's just thread our machine. So we are working flat, but for this first stitch, to kind of keep things happy and beautiful, maybe we'll just do a regular stitch versus a slip stitch. All right, so make sure your heel spring is on. I'm just gonna hold it because my hemostat's busy. And we're just going to slightly do that. Yeah, maybe I would actually like to do this. Wait one sec. I'm gonna do an E-wrap. That way I get a stitch out of it. Just to be difficult. There we are. So I've just wrapped it just to kind of secure it. And there we go. Let's make sure all of our latches are open. And we go slow whenever we start something new. Maybe I'll zoom out a bit more if I've got it. No, we're at our zoom. Okay. So the machine is changing tension as it goes from the yellow reinforced over to the, oh goodness me, to the sock yarn. Sometimes it needs to be coaxed. All right, so I have done one row after the hung hem. Now that was a very tight row, to be expected, with the fiber being slightly a different density and 2 stitches on the needle. So I've gone all the way around, and now we are beginning our first slip stitch row. This is where we actually should start the beautiful side stitch decorative edge. So let's raise our needle and then start with that. So when we come back around, as we do with all of these slip stitch row edges, still a bit tight, that's okay. This is a thicker fabric than the previous. Now what I want to do here is take care of this tail now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do on the second stitch, do my wrap. And every second stitch, not too tight, just thereabouts. That's probably one more, just for good measure. I mean, I could certainly just hold it, or I can, oh, we should have switched, yeah, okay. Just because I need hands here, I'm just going to get it in place. So I didn't stop at 6, but I can certainly still put these down. So I'm going to put those down on the right. Whoop, sorry. And we're going to raise here on the left. Just being aware actually helps, but sometimes it's easy to be distracted. So all the needles are down, latches open. Let's continue to go around. So certainly a different feel to turning the crank with the sock yarn on. There we are. Good, beautiful. I'd say I'm probably secure now with that join yarn tail. So I'm going to cheat and just snip it here. There we are. And now with each row that we do on the edge, we do our slip stitch row, or decorative stitch. So we'll go all the way to 6 again. And continue around. Do our slip stitch edge. And continue around. Now, I don't know if you can see this. This is a good learning moment. I don't know if you can see this, but I have a latch that doesn't want to stay open, which is fine. Sometimes it's kind of stuck in the fiber and the fibers like want to hold it up. So all you have to do, what you can do besides oiling and just crossing your fingers, is just a tiny bit of raising will often stop the fiber from giving it a push. That should allow it to stay open. Not so much that it needs to stand up all the way, but certainly just a little bit. And you can do that anywhere in the machine that the needle is down, just a slight bit up. There you go. All right, so then we continue along, going to the right. Raise that first slip stitch needle. Making sure all your latches are down. So I'm going to continue working this until my fabric is longer. I don't know if you can see that there. This is my join. Or rather my open area. So as I said, I'm going to continue on. So I'm just going to put the video on hold so you don't have to watch me go back and forth. You've got the method down. Let's just continue until you have a piece that runs under the machine to at least a width of a hand and a half. Your hand and a half. Whatever you like. There's no wrong. Actually, yes, there is a wrong. Wrong would be too darn short. You can't do anything with it once it's hanging under the machine. And that, of course, is keeping in mind that when you have it off the machine, it's no longer having the weight, it's no longer stretched, so make sure it's a little bit longer than you think it should be, because when it comes off the machine later, it might just relax a bit and become shorter slightly. All right, so I'm going to pause you now. Here we go. So this is what the slip stitch looks like on the machine after doing a couple rows. There's about an inch of material there. Just thought I'd quickly show you. It's super beautiful. It will kind of curl a bit when it's off the machine, but after you block it, it's still a bit curled. Doesn't really matter because it's not an edge we do anything with other than prevent or kind of help itself be longer. So there you go. I'll continue. Okay, so we've worked our project to about almost 2 hands width below the machine. I didn't figure it was really all that important to do an actual measure, so you got hands, most of us, you can probably measure with your hands. You really just want to make sure that you have enough material to hang your buckle and weights, and that should be just about it. So we're going to go back on the machine now. So this is what it looks like from the top, and now the next point that we need to do, or the next step, is to go from about, I guess it's 5 o'clock now, and finish with this sock row yarn to here, switch to the reinforcement yellow because we want that second row of fabric, or rather fiber, that we used at the very beginning, to kind of do a repeat of what we did on the very bottom row, the very first row. So we will now work over to 12 o'clock. The left side, of course, is raised as we normally is when we do this, making sure we're all open, cranking over. Great. So now we're going to change the fiber. I don't want a tail that's all too long, so I'm perfectly happy with doing one that's only maybe 2 inches or so. So I'm going to take the sock yarn off the spool area and swap on over to this reinforced cotton that we have here that I introduced at the very beginning. So there we go.